Hi guys, and welcome to another reading vlog. Today I'm basically going to be spending the entire day reading the Heartstopper series. Now, I've heard so much about this series. It's been hyped on BookTube, I think a lot in the past couple of months because the Netflix show also released, and I've not read them because I've been in a massive reading slump. Also, because I've been in a reading slump, I think it would be nice to read something that's super quick, super easy, and what I've heard is super duper like feel good, heartwarming, and just a very nice romance to read. So I'm very excited. These are graphic novels. I don't know if you can see, these are graphic novels. So I think they will be quite quick and easy to get through, which is also perfect for my reading slumps. So, yep, that is what I'm going to do. And let's get started. Okay, so I just finished reading volume 1 of Heartstopper, and honestly, you guys, this was the sweetest, cutest, most wholesome book that I have ever read. This book, like the cover says, which is Boy Meets Boy, basically follows two young teenage boys, Charlie and Nick, and it's the story of how they meet in a class that they have together, how they become the best of friends, and how they end up developing feelings for each other. It's such a wholesome story. Like I said, it's so sweet, it's so cute, it's so simple, and it's just like a coming of age story of these two boys as they're discovering their feelings, as one of them is discovering his sexuality, and it's just sweet. There is no other way to say this. The reason why I say that it's so sweet is that there are a lot of teenage shows, teenage books, just like teenage content in general, which is just very, very dramatic. It's very over the top. It's very angsty. Whereas this one does have like themes about homophobia. It also has something about sexual assault in here, but it's done in a more empathetic way rather than a more like dramatic or angsty way. Like there's just a lot of love and empathy and just wholesomeness in this book that makes it not super heavy on the mind, but it still tackles like important issues. So I don't know, I just really, really enjoy that. I really enjoyed having important themes being discussed in the book, but it being done in a more heartwarming, heart feeling, empathetic way. And this book actually left off at a cliffhanger, so I really, really want to jump straight into the second volume because I need to know what happens between these two just cute, sweet, amazing boys. I need to know what happens, so I'm gonna jump straight into volume 2 and I will check in with you guys later. I did not expect to start tearing up at this book, but Oh my god. Why are these books so sweet? They're so sweet. There is no other way to describe these books. There is no other way to describe these books. They're just so sweet. Um, there might be mild spoilers here and there. I'll try to keep it as spoiler free as possible. I mean, we know that this is a queer love story between two sweet, amazing boys. So I'll try to keep the details vague, but there might be spoilers, like very tiny, mild spoilers. But this book continues with the love story of Charlie and Nick, and it's just the two of them discovering each other as boyfriends, and how like Nick coming to terms with his sexuality, how that affects their relationship dynamic. And I don't know, I have no other ways to describe this apart from sweet. I really don't know what to say, but at the end of this book there is just, I don't know what it is about like coming out stories, especially when a parent or a figure of authority accepts it in a good way. I don't know what it is about those that just make me feel so emotional, but there is one that happens in this book, and it's just, it was just so nice. Sorry, the camera just kind of cut off there for a bit, but basically, this volume follows Nick as he kind of discovers his sexuality even more, and how he kind of comes to terms with it. What I really liked about this volume is this process that they've shown of Nick discovering his sexuality. Um, I feel that when you're a teenager and when you're going through so much emotionally with all of the hormonal changes that you go through, it's anyways a very confusing period. And to add to that, when you're confused or sometimes even ashamed about your sexuality, it can be a very, very harrowing experience. And I really liked how they dealt with that experience, like Nick's experience, again in a very heartwarming and empathetic way. I love how they've explained everything about how you shouldn't be too hard on yourself, how you can take your time to do that. And Nick's journey is just really, really wholesome and sweet. And I loved that in this book. Okay, so I finished Heartstopper Volume 3, and this, you guys, I think is my favorite book in the series so far. In this, the Heartstopper gang goes to Paris, and I love it when authors incorporate travel in their stories, especially love stories, because I feel like that element of travel adds a little bit more spice. It adds a little bit more juiciness and just scenarios where you can push the characters together, which are really, really cute and funny. And I loved that in this book as well. Um, this book basically tackles Nick and Charlie coming out as a couple to all of their loved ones and just everyone basically, and I really, really loved that evolution in their story as well. I just loved all of the supporting characters that were introduced to throughout this series. Most of them, I would say like 95% of these characters are queer, and I feel like Alice Oseman does this in a lot of her books. I've only read Radio Silence by Alice Oseman, but even in that, there was just a lot of representation. And in this book, also, the representation game is strong. And I really, really like that. Because I feel like when it comes to love stories or like rom coms, in the mainstream media, we're just used to seeing straight people or like cisgender heterosexual people. Like, we're just used to seeing every single character be straight and cisgender, all of their love interests also be straight and cisgender, all of their friends, their parents, their teachers, just everyone is straight and cisgender. And I feel like we're so used to that that we think that that is the norm, but it's not. And I love how Heartstopper includes such diverse characters. It includes diverse sexualities, races, ethnicities, and it's just really, really nice to see that in a book that's being enjoyed by so many young people. The other thing that I really liked about this book is also how figures of authority, that is, teachers that these kids come in contact with, how they are also a part of the LGBTQ community, and how we get to learn a little bit about their experiences and how they kind of treat these kids with so much love and empathy and kindness. And it was just really sweet to see, because I feel that when you have these figures of authority being empathetic and kind towards you when you're going through something that might be a bit confusing, it just makes the process easier. And I feel like for anyone who is going through a lot in their teenage years when it comes to their sexuality, to read this, I feel would give you, like, firstly, it would just make you feel seen. And I don't know, I'm assuming that it would make you feel very warm and fuzzy inside. I'm a cisgender heterosexual woman, so I've not had the experiences that these characters have had, but I can see how important this book series might be for someone who is exploring their sexuality and discovering their discovering things about their sexuality in their teenage years. So I really, really applaud Alice Oseman for including that diversity, for including that representation in this book, because it is just so nice. One more thing I want to say before I go is, while Nick and Charlie have my whole heart and I love them to pieces and I want to protect them at all costs, Tara and Darcy, Alice Oseman, there's probably a very low chance you're watching this right now, but if you do plan to write a spin-off story about Tara and Darcy, I will gobble it up. And I think a lot of people will too, because those two characters are so amazing. I love their dynamic. I want to learn more about their love story. And yep, just putting it out there. A Tara and Darcy spin-off story, I want that. Okay, so I finished reading Heartstopper Volume 4, and again, this is just another brilliant installment in this series. The subject matter of this particular book in the series is a lot more heavy as compared to the others, but again, it is done in a way that is not overly dramatic. It's not like super duper heavy in the way that it bogs you down. Again, it's just done in a very informative, a very responsible, and again, a very, very empathetic way. So, the themes that are covered in this book are mainly about mental health, mental illnesses, specifically eating disorders. And like I said, I feel like this is one of the most responsible ways that mental health has been tackled in books, in all forms of media, like books, TV shows, movies. I feel like the way that the topic of mental health and mental illness has been covered in this book is just really, really mature. It's very responsible. It doesn't over dramatize it. It doesn't it it gives it the importance it needs without dramatizing it, and I loved that about this book. When it comes to mental health, this book just doesn't talk about what the person who's suffering from the mental illness is going through, but it talks about how the people in their life can actually support them and the role that they can play, because sometimes it's hard to understand what you can do for someone who is going through a mental illness, especially if it is your partner, your girlfriend, boyfriend, wife, husband, whoever, because you don't know how to support them and you want to really. So it talks about that. It talks about the journey and the amount of time it takes to actually heal from a mental illness. And like I said, it's just done in a very, very responsible and mature manner, and I really, really enjoyed it. I honestly thought that this was actually the last volume, but I realized that there's a volume 5, and I kind of wish it was out because I really want to read it now, because I want to know how Nick and Charlie's journey continues and what's in store for them. But I guess I have to wait for volume 5. I believe it's releasing next year, but till then, I guess I am going to be binging the Netflix show for sure, because I've heard really good things about it, and probably rereading these books a couple of times. But yeah, that was my reading vlog of the Heartstopper series. I enjoyed all of the books in the series. Hold on. They are right here, so I can hold them up. I really enjoyed all of these books. I've given all of them 5 out of 5 stars. They are really the most wholesome and the sweetest books with the nicest, kindest, most empathetic, responsible, mature characters that I have ever read. And I love these books. So if you haven't read the Heartstopper series, definitely, definitely check them out because they are amazing. So with that said, we have come to the end of this reading vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below letting me know if you guys have read the Heartstopper series or if there are any other graphic novels that you guys have read. Let me know down in the comments. And of course, do subscribe to my channel for more book related videos. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.